Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I'm a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too, because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Manifesting Magic the Practical Way, because there are a lot of practicalities to manifesting these lives that we choose, right? So, what I am discussing today, okay, sometimes I feel so heavy and hot. It's good. What I'm discussing today is the same source, the same creator, the same God that created those blessings that you see in other people's lives. That's the same one that serves you. So sometimes I sit around and I think about the times when I used to see other people's accomplishments and their dreams and goals being manifested to some degree. And a part of me would be like, yay, I would congratulate them and be wonderful. Oh, this is amazing. I'm so happy for you. This is great. But then there was another part of me that also felt like, well, maybe I'm just not good enough. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Maybe I should look into what they're doing. Maybe I can do, I used to get all caught up in the head and get all out of my own lane to try to figure out how to find someone else's success, really. And really, you want your own success, right? And so I noticed there was a shift in my personality in that way, because now I notice when I see things about other people and their advancements or their accomplishments and stuff, I never get that feeling anymore of unworthiness on my end, or that I'm doing something wrong, or that it's just not in the cards for me. I immediately think, wow. And I'm like, well, if that's happening for her. And I just really noticed this morning, because I was sitting there on LinkedIn, and one of the ladies that I did the TEDx with, she's beautiful. She did like cyber crime, right? I love that it was like a couple of women who were all talking. We were all talking about tech. That's pretty cool. It was like three of us. But it was very cool because she just announced that she's going to be at another conference speaking women in tech. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, right? And I was like, man, look what doors are opening for her. And I was like, that's cool. And I immediately started typing, congratulations, you're going to hit it out of the park because you're very smart, blah, 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 all that good stuff, right? But then I also started thinking too, is like, there's never a reason for us to feel as if somebody is getting something that we do not have, and that somehow that thing can't happen for us, because it most definitely can. Because the same way that it was created in their life, the same source that they tapped into in their space is the same source that you can tap into and bring about these things in your own life. One of the times I remember thinking about this was definitely in the space of having a bunch of female friends. When I used to have a lifestyle like that, where I always knew a lot of women at different times. And, I had groups for writing. I had groups for academia. I had groups for research, I had PhD groups, all that kind of stuff. I found myself in a lot of little groups over the years. And if you're ever in these groups, you'll see that, or any type of group that you are in to try to, create something in your life, you'll see that people are not always excited when one person creates some type of success in their space, right? And I don't think it's necessarily that they are not happy for the person. I think it's more so of, what about me? And I think that's just the honest truth of it, right? Because a lot of people say, I've been working this hard all this time. I've been doing this work all this time. But what about me, right? But when you get into the what about me mode, it makes it really hard for you to stay in the receptive mode. And it makes it really hard for you to truly be there to support other people and their dreams and what they're working on and what they're trying to create, right? And I think sometimes we spend so much time thinking about our own path and our own goals and what we want to create and what we want to do, that we sometimes forget that other people are doing things too. And I think one of the best things that we can do for ourselves is keep that in mind, and it gives us an opportunity to take our minds off of all those things that we're thinking about and worrying about as it relates to ourselves, and then in the mode to be able to provide service or support for others in some kind of way. We have to stop thinking that the minute we stop thinking about our dreams or goals, or the minute we stop looking at it, that somehow, it's not going to be accomplished, right? Once you're putting the right positive energy towards it, you're giving it the right kind of attention, and you are practicing the level of discipline that it takes in order to have stick-to-itiveness with your goals and with your desires, and you're being really consistent, you have to know that your path is being created for you. The way is being made for you. The doors are being opened for you. It may not look like other people's doors, but it'll look like your doors, because it'll be your doors, right? So I just wanted to say that, to keep that in mind, that The same source energy that is creating all of the beauty and abundance in other people's lives that you watch is the same source energy and life energy that you can tap into and create those things in your life. So now when I see people and I see things online and it's so easy for me to jump in and be like, wow, that's amazing. And it's because I understand what it takes to create success in your life. I understand how much faith and belief you have to have in order to keep on going down a path. I understand how important it is for us to understand that we are not doing this thing alone, and that if it was in all of our own makings, most of us would not make it to the destination because we don't have enough information to get to the other side. So we do have to tap into that energy. We do have to have the right doors being open for us. We do have to have a way being made for us. And it has to come through the energy that we put out there when our desires are strong and they're clear and they're consistent. And the best way to stay with strong, consistent, and clear energy or vibes or whatever is to never get into that sunken space to where you're looking around at other people and thinking, well, what about me? When is it going to be my turn? When am I going to get to? It's like that's the opposite of the receptive mode. And it's also the opposite of gratitude, right? Because you can't really be in a grateful mode if you're constantly looking, over other people's shoulders to see what they're doing and how much headway they're making, right? Because life in general, it's not a race with other people in any kind of way. And if I have not learned anything else, I've learned that in my life big time, that you are only up against yourself. You are only up against your latest and greatest version of who you are. So when you see other people doing their very best and they're seeing some success and they're moving forward and they're able to celebrate what they've been working on, you have to be able to see that they deserve what they've created just as much as you are going to deserve what you are creating, or just as much as you deserve what you have now, right? If we think that we can get into the mode and we have God's eyes, God's vision, and we can say, oh, that person doesn't deserve it because they look like this. That person doesn't deserve it because they didn't work this hard. They didn't do that. They didn't do this. It really doesn't work that way. It really works the way that everybody sees a path for themselves. Everyone sees something cool or interesting that they want to create. When some people tap into that strong energy sometimes brings them to those places a lot sooner than it might have brought you. But in other places in your life, say it's your health and fitness, or it's your spiritual foundations, or it's your career, or whatever those things are, you may be far ahead and beyond of anything that you ever expected to achieve. So just think about keeping the gratitude for how far you've come, as opposed to looking at anybody else and saying, why did they get that? When is it going to be my turn? Why am I being ignored? Why is nobody paying attention to me? And all that kind of stuff, right? I think about that all the time when I see women who are some of my favorite YouTubers especially, and I see their channels and what they're working on and their product lines exponentially just growing, right? Supernatural leaps and bounds. I'll see it happen. I'll see someone start off and they have one item in their store, then they have 50 items in their store, then they're barely on YouTube because their store has gotten so big, and it's only in a matter of 2 years, right? And now, when I see that kind of stuff, I get excited. Because I'm like, man, that same source is working in my life right now. And if they can come from where they were and create what they have, that means whatever I'm looking at or whatever I'm wanting or whatever I'm trying to create is already headed in my direction, right? Anyway, I hope you all enjoy that message. And remember, the same source energy that other people are tapping into to create the beautiful things in their lives is the same source energy that you can tap into and create that beauty in your life. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.